Hey everybody, welcome to the Pagan Perspective. My name is Angel and this is Subs Week. And the question we have today is pagans in Christian churches. Okay, so I'm not going to read the whole question. I'm going to kind of paraphrase it, but I'll put the question down below for this week. Basically, we are being asked by Danielle P., I believe, that enjoys going to a Christian church in the Houston area. A lot. Enjoys going there. And wants to know if there's a conflict with being a pagan and going to a Christian church. Now, I'm going to touch on that, but the end of the question had a statement, and I'm also going to touch on that. Now, the end of the question that had the statement, it was basically, I believe they said, no one knows that they're pagan there, and they wouldn't tell anybody they were pagan there unless they were asked flat out if they were pagan. I'm sorry, I don't know if you could see me. But let me touch on the first part of, is there a conflict with going to a Christian church when you're pagan? Personally, I see no problem with it. None at all. Because the great thing about paganism, and one of the things I love about paganism, is there's no, unless you're in a tradition, there's no book that you need to follow verbatim on how to live your life, your spirituality in paganism. You can incorporate so many different religions, spiritual paths, what have you, into your path. Taoism, Buddhism, Hinduism, Christianity. You can be, I think it's Hellenistic. You could be all kinds of different things you can incorporate into your pagan beliefs and who you worship or honor. Christianity is just another one of those veins of spirituality that you can pull from. So, no, I don't think there's a problem. Now, there's two different kinds of conflicts. Is this an internal conflict or an outer conflict? If it's an outer conflict, then I still don't think you need to worry about anything, because nobody should give you their opinion on how to regulate your spirituality. It is an individual, intimate, spiritual thing that nobody can tell you that you're doing right or wrong. It's what speaks to your soul. So you know the voice that speaks to your soul, the song that speaks to your soul, and you need to follow that. Now, with that being said, an inner conflict, I'm concerned that the inner conflict that it could be linked to the end of the question about the fact that you are not just outwardly open about being pagan. Which I can totally understand. I did live in the South, and I'm sorry, Southern people, but it's closed-minded down there, to be sure. Definitely better than it's been in many years, but it's got a long way to go. However, I guess my concern would be that if you're having an inner conflict about going, it may be due to the fact that you're not directly open about who you are. Now, I know I'm not saying that you're lying about it, but omission sometimes is the same thing. Now, people assume you're Christian because you're going to a Christian church, but you're not telling them you're not Christian. So, you're not lying, but you're not being completely honest. Now, that's not really hurting anybody but yourself, because I think maybe that's why the conflict is there internally. Now, this is a lot of assumptions because I don't know you. I don't know what's going on. I just read your question and it made this perk up in my mind, so I just wanted to touch on it. I know there's a lot of places people can't be open about being pagan. I know that. And I'm definitely not asking somebody to go outside anything safe or anything like that. But I would just kind of broach to you that you may love the message you're getting, and trust me, I am totally on board with the whole law of attraction. But if you can't be open and honest about who you are at this church, just outwardly, you can't walk in wearing a pentagram and just be like, I'm here because I like being here and I like the message you're sending. but this is what I believe too, and I'm trying to incorporate that in, then to me that's kind of a big sign of a conflict of your spiritual paths. I'm also not saying you have to make a decision either way, because I think the decision is both, everything, whatever you want to incorporate. But I would just say that if you feel like you have to hide something, then that's kind of a red flag, I guess, a red flag. That maybe there's a bigger issue. So, is it outwardly conflicting to go to a Christian church if you're pagan? No. But if you can't be open about being a pagan in a Christian church, just outwardly, without being asked, then that might be the conflict in itself. Like I said, I know there's a lot of places it's not safe for people to be non-traditional religions. I know that. And I'm, like I said, I'm definitely not asking anybody to do anything or start a revolution in an area where they would be unsafe in doing so. But you can do it internally. If you feel like they would not accept you being a pagan, then their message is sort of lost, isn't it? It's kind of like if somebody says, if a parent says, I love you unconditionally, unless you're gay, then I can't love you. Well, what? Where did the unconditional part come in? So, I'm not saying you don't need to go to the church or you shouldn't go to the church. Just kind of take that in and really think about that. Would these people accept you being a pagan in a Christian church? If they would, then freaking awesome. That's great. If they wouldn't, then that is a conflict with you internally. And there's so many places in the world that people don't accept other people for so many different reasons. And being in a spiritual place around people who claim to be spiritual or religious, that should be one of the places you can be the most vulnerable, the most honest, the most raw. And it doesn't seem to be the case with a lot of places. So just kind of consider that, just kind of think that over. And if that's not the problem and you just are not comfortable with sharing your spirituality, then I don't see a problem with you still going to the church and taking in the positive information they give you. Taking it and doing whatever you want with it. That, like I said, that's the most amazing thing about paganism. It's all these clays you put together and make your own spirituality, your own path. So, the only other thing I would say to people and hope that they would hear this is just be very, very cautious of the messages you take in, that you do filter them, because there's so many cults out there that pop up and they prey on people and things get misconstrued, messages get misunderstood, and what you think is being sent out as a message is not exactly what people are selling. So just be very careful of that, really listen to your inner voice and what it's telling you. And also, just enjoy yourself. Enjoy your experiences. Enjoy the information you get. And just take it for what it is, Anyways, that's my opinion on that. Sorry, I'm a little... it is Thanksgiving. I hope everybody had a happy holiday with their family. And it's nice and full and relaxing. I'm going to go take a little winter's nap and snuggle up with my kitty cat. So, until next time, I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful holiday, a great weekend, and I will see you next time. Blessed be. Bye.